Relationships don't always end with screaming or betrayal. Sometimes they end when
My name is Ethan Miles, and for most of my life I believed relationships ended loudly with shouting, betrayal, broken plates, and tears on the floor. But when my 3-year relationship with Ava began to fall apart, it didn't make a sound. It just disappeared in silence. When we first met, Ava felt like sunshine, warm, bright, and full of energy. She loved that I was steady, consistent, reliable. "You're the calm I didn't know I needed," she once told me. I believed her. I believed in us. The first year was effortless. We had dinner dates, late-night drives, and random movie nights. We shared playlists and laughed over stupid jokes. Everything felt natural, like it was meant to be. But the beginning of the end never arrives with a bang. It starts with little shifts, the ones you ignore because you don't want them to be real. First, it was the small things. "I'm tired tonight. Can we hang out another time?" "Work is just crazy right now." They seemed normal, understandable, at least at first. But then the excuses multiplied. Plans were canceled last minute. Typing bubbles would appear, then vanish. My calls were ignored, followed by a text saying, "Sorry, I fell asleep." Texts would be answered hours later with no real explanation. One kept giving her grace, kept showing patience, kept loving her. But each excuse chipped away a little piece of what we used to be. One evening, we were supposed to have dinner at a new place, one neither of us had tried before. I showed up early, excited like a kid. I picked a table near the window and ordered water for both of us. Then I waited and waited. 30 minutes passed. I texted her. No reply. Another 15 minutes, I called. "Oh my God, Ethan, I totally forgot," she said. "Got caught up with work? Rain check?" Her tone wasn't apologetic. It was casual, almost dismissive, like my time didn't matter. I sat there in that half-empty restaurant, staring at the empty seat across from me, pretending it didn't hurt, but it did. A forgotten dinner isn't the end of the world. But it is the beginning of realizing you might be the only one showing up. After that night, the distance between us grew sharper, colder, more obvious. Ava wasn't angry. She wasn't cheating. She wasn't cruel. She was just absent. Emotionally gone, even when she was physically present. It felt like living with a stranger who was wearing the face of someone I loved. I tried harder, more dates, more affection, more understanding, hoping something would bring her back to me. But the sad truth is, you can't fill a connection when the other person has already unplugged. Then came the night everything silently broke inside of me. I had cooked her favorite dinner, lit candles, and set the table, trying to recreate the warmth we used to have. She walked in the door, glanced at the table, and said, "Can we not do this tonight? I'm tired. Just tired. No apology. No explanation, just a complete dismissal." She walked straight to the couch, picked up her phone, and started scrolling, already lost in another world. I stared at the table, the meal I cooked, the candles I lit, the effort I gave, and I felt something inside me finally go still. That's when I understood. I wasn't losing her. I had already lost her. And now I had to decide whether I was going to keep losing myself too. The next day I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't ask if she wanted to hang out. For the first time in years, I stopped being available on command. It wasn't to punish her, it was to protect myself. The silence that followed wasn't painful like I expected. It was peaceful. A strange, liberating kind of peace. The kind you feel when you stop running after someone who has already stopped walking toward you. That evening, instead of waiting for her message, I took myself to a cafe I'd been wanting to try for months. I sat alone with a notebook and wrote down everything I'd been feeling. Exhaustion, confusion, loneliness, resentment, disappointment, and finally, clarity. It hit me then, clear as daylight. Love without presence is just a memory. And I'd been in love with a memory for a long time. 3 days passed, nothing from her, not a call, not a text, not even a "how are you?" On the 4th day, my phone buzzed. It was Ava. "Are you ignoring me?" My stomach tightened. Once, a message like that would have sent me running to her, explaining, reassuring, caring more than I should. But now, her question felt like the most ironic thing she could have asked. Was I ignoring her? Or had she been ignoring me for months? I let the message sit there for hours. Later that night, I replied, Yes, I am. 3 words. Simple. Honest. A boundary I should have drawn long ago. Her replies came fast after that. Can we talk? I didn't mean to push you away. I've been so stressed. I didn't realize you felt this way. But excuses don't rewrite emotional absence, and stress doesn't erase indifference. A few days later, she asked to meet. We met at a park halfway between our apartment's neutral ground for a final truth. When she approached, she looked smaller, tired, nervous. "Ethan," she began, her voice shaky. "I'm sorry, I messed up." I didn't realize how distant I'd become. I just nodded. "I know," she blinked, surprised by my calm. "Do you still want this?" she asked softly. I held her gaze, gentle, steady, unflinching. "I wanted us," I said. "But I can't keep showing up alone." Her eyes filled with tears. "I didn't mean to make you feel invisible." "I know," I said quietly. "But intentions don't heal what actions break." She reached for my hand, but I gently stepped back. Not to hurt her, but because I finally understood that staying with her would mean abandoning myself. We talked for another 20 minutes, apologies, reflections, all the should-haves and could-haves. But there's a moment in every ending where both people feel the truth at the same time. And in that moment, I felt peace settle into me like a soft exhale. When we stood from the bench, she whispered, "Are we really over?" I looked at her gently. "No, we ended a long time ago. We're just acknowledging it now." Her tears fell, but for once they didn't pull me back in, because clarity can be kinder than love. I walked away from that park without bitterness, without anger, without regret. Just a quiet realization. I wasn't walking away from her, I was walking back to myself. The days that followed were strangely comforting. I cooked for myself, went on long walks, read books, and reconnected with friends. I laughed more easily and breathed more freely. I didn't feel lonely. For the first time in years, I felt present. Because the truth is simple, being alone is not the same as being unloved. Being ignored is. Ava and I still text occasionally, polite, distant, respectful. But we don't talk about the past. She once wrote, "I didn't expect you to actually walk away." I replied, "I didn't expect I'd have to," and that was the last real message we exchanged. Now, months later, I see the gift hidden inside the heartbreak. Her absence pushed me back into my own life. I stopped showing up for someone who didn't value me. And I started showing up for myself. And that was the first time in years I felt whole. Thank you for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And if you're going through something similar, remember to be kind to yourself. Please subscribe for more stories like this. I'll see you in the next one.